Hello, hello, hello. This is Lee Scott. I'll be reading a few poems by Langston Hughes. The first one I'll read is Dream Deferred. I am reading these poems out of a book called My Black Me, a beginning book of black poetry, and it is edited by Arnold Adolph. This is a children's book that I picked up from the library, and so it has some pretty good poems in it. Now, here we go. Dream deferred. What happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like raisins in the sun, or fester like a sore and then run? Does it stink like rotten meat, or crust and sugar over like a syrupy sweet? Maybe it just sags like a heavy load, or does it explode? The next one I'll read is called My People by Langston Hughes. The night is beautiful, so the faces of my people. The stars are beautiful, so the eyes, my phone. Beautiful also in the sun. Beautiful also are the souls of my people. That was another poem by Langston Hughes. I am flipping through here, and then he has another one called Good Morning. Good morning, Daddy. I was born here, he said, watched Harlem grow until colored folks spread from river to river across the middle Manhattan of Penn Station. Dark 10th of a nation, planes from Puerto Rico, and holds of boats, Chico, up from Cuba, Haiti, Jamaica, and buses marked New York, from Georgia, Florida, Louisiana to Harlem, Brooklyn, the Bronx, but most of all to Harlem, dusky sash across Manhattan. I've seen them come dark, wandering, wide-eyed, dreaming, out of Penn Station, but the trains are late. The gates open, but there are bars at each gate. What happens to a dream deferred? Daddy, ain't you heard? Thank you for listening. Be blessed and have a great one. So I decided to share some information on Langston Hughes. I know I have already shared that he is my favorite poet, and when I was introduced to him as a child in elementary school, but I'm going to share about him right now. So here it is. James Mercer Langston Hughes was born February 1st, 1901, and he passed away on May 22nd, 1967. He was an African American poet, social activist, novelist, playwright, and columnist from Joplin, Missouri. He moved to New York City as a young man, where he made his career. One of the earliest innovators of the new literary art form called jazz poetry back then. That was one of the new forms of art and poetry back then. So he was one of the early innovators. He was part of it. Okay? Now, Hughes is best known as a leader of the Harlem Renaissance. He famously wrote about the period that the Negro was in vogue, which was later paraphrased as when Harlem was in vogue. So that is what I have on Langston Hughes. And I have already read one of his, well, actually, I think it was 3 that I've already read here already. Let me see if I have another one that I can read here. If I have another one, I believe I do. I'm not sure. But Yeah, I'm looking through the book right now to see if I'm sorry. Okay, here it is. I think I already read this. I did. I already read that one. I already read it. But I think Langston Hughes was just an amazing poet, and a lot of these poets, and just a lot of people from back then were just before their time, and doing what they did. So I am happy to have met him in elementary school, even if it was not where I met him, uh, you know, person to person, but even just meeting his work. So I am happy to have met him through his work. Thank you. Be blessed and have a great one. I will be reading a poem called Good Times by Lucille Clifton, and I am reading it out of the same book, My Black Me, a beginning book of poetry, black poetry, and it was edited by Arnold Adolph. So here is the poem. My daddy has paid the rent, and the insurance man is gone, and the lights is back on, and my Uncle Bud has hit for $1 straight, and they is good times, good times, good times. My mama has made a bread, and grandpa has come, and everybody is drunk and dancing in the kitchen and singing in the kitchen. Oh, these is good times, good times, good times. Oh, children, think about the good times. The poem by Lucille Clifton called Good Times. And I think I have one more in here that I will read by her. It's called Listen, Children. Listen, children, keep this in the place you have for keeping. Always keep it. Always. We have never hated black. Listen, we have been ashamed, hopeless, tired, mad, but always, always, we loved us. We have always loved each other. Children, always pass it on. That was another poem by Lucille Clifton, and I will give you information on her. Lucille Clifton was born June 27, 1936, passed away February 13, 2010. She was an African-American poet, writer, and educator from Buffalo, New York. From 1979 to 1985, she was Poet Laureate of Maryland. Clifton was a finalist twice for the Pulitzer Prize for poetry. So that is pretty awesome that she was actually a finalist twice for the Pulitzer Prize for poetry. And I just wanted to bring you some of their poetry, as well as give you some information on these two amazing poets, and just introduce you to them personally, as well as their work. And I just want to thank you for coming. Be blessed and have a great one.